Ladies and gentlemen, we unfortunately have to interrupt this music stream to bring you some gameplay. My name is TJ, my co-caster is Envision, and we are into Game 2 of this best of 3 series in the second night of the OC Paladins Pro League presented by Cybergamer. We are, of course, halfway through Australian Mafia versus proper Etiquette. Game 1 went to Australian Mafia, but they had Mr. Shy at the time. Envision, they're now down a star player, aren't they?
That they are. However, they do still have Yes, and they have Arachnamoose. And like I said in the last game, they did help Mr. Shy. It wasn't just Mr. Shy. His team did great work as well. And I think that they can still do this if they keep playing like they did last game.
Yeah, and as we're talking about, Bubbly, he isn't the world's worst player. I've seen him play, I've played with him, he's decent. He can stand in just fine. Here's the S123 on the Androxus, trying to step up for his team, be the damage dealer that they need, but perhaps not the one they deserve, because he can't hit anything just yet, and this Cassie is absolutely running circles around him. There, his first blood going to him with that first bit of damage, and the Ruckus on the point, played by Rasputin, is trying to get something, anything, but Bubbly will claim his life with a very well-placed cannonball.
And Backbone going to fall to Bullet as he tries to retreat away. And now it's just up to Teskey and Elegies. Not going to be able to hold this point down for too long. Teskey's trying to run back to his healer Elegies and regroup with Elucidator as well. Arachnamoose trying to get the zoning, and it looks like point control going to Australian Mafia.
Lovely Bullet fully set up now. Raining up a bit of damage, and that'll be Rasputin now peeking out. Here's the push coming on in. Bullet set up quite nicely with those barrack turrets, and he'll begin answering all the damage out onto this poor Fernando in the back lines. The Ruckus now pushing out, beginning to attack the turrets, and it will gain full attention of the team. Arachnamoose and Yes123 both grab the necessary kills. This poor Grok, all isolated on the side, is going to be focused out by so much damage, and he will fall. Elucidator on the Cassie, blown all the way out, rolling in the back lines, but he should fall too as he does grab Arachnamoose. The point will be captured in favour of Australian Mafia 1-0.
So Elucidator is still in the back line, Australian Mafia, but he's not going to be much help as far out as he is and as low as he is. He might be able to get a few shots into Inferno Turtle as he starts to peak, but the push is already going with the payload. We're seeing a huge team fight up here. Fernando versus Barrick and Makoa. And it looks like it's kind of just a stalemate right here in this first choke point that Australian Mafia need to push past.
Will be Bullet setting up a bit, but there's that Cassie still not dead in their backlines. Poking out and doing a little bit of damage onto him. Yes, 1-2-3 looking for the kill, but he can't find it just yet. And there's actually the Fear coming out in hordes, as that will be a nice use of the ultimate, allowing Teskey to go ahead and set himself up very aggressively. Arachnamoose will be his main target, and he's going to fall though, because the bombs stack up, the collateral damage is too much, and there is a King Bomb available for Arachnamoose should he decide he needs it.
He actually went to go use that King Bomb right there, but he was shut down by Rasputin before he had a chance to even activate it, and now defense is highly in favor of proper Etiquette. Now, we really need to see a regroup here from Australian Mafia, but yes, getting a little too aggressive potentially, but he does get away and he is able to hide. And I actually see Inferno Turtle. I don't even know how he got over there, but he is way in the back line as this next team fight starts, and we'll see how that plays out with their healer on the other side of the map.
Well, he's gone ahead. He's rejoined the rest of his team, throwing out the necessary heals. It will be Bullet in the front lines, raining in the damage onto that shield. There is Arachnamoose with the King Bomb properly this time, but yet again he's slain before it explodes. Yes, 1-2-3 in the front lines for the damage, being chased out by Fernando. That can't go well from him. Elucidator doing a lot of damage onto Bullet, and yes, 1-2-3 will fall to his stray arrow. Now Teskey pushing forward with that shield will buy the rest of his team the time and the opportunity to rain damage through it. 36 seconds left on the payload, and it's barely moved an inch.
Right now, this is probably a point where Australian Mafia has probably one good push left. Arachnamoose trying to lead the charge, looking for a good Grumpy Bomb here, and if he can do it, he might be able to set his team up. We're seeing Bullet, all 5 players from Australian Mafia going into it. What a great pull! Sorry, I had to interrupt myself, but Backbone gets pulled away. Didn't get focused though, so he's still alive. And this is Australian Mafia's last-ditch effort to try and push this payload.
That will be the Turtle Shield buying a little bit of time, and here's Elucidator. We're sitting on him, and he's just unhindered. He's not even taking any damage. Nobody's paying any attention to him, and it's absolutely an awful mistake. Now, finally, Bubbly and Co will start paying attention to him, and he'll have to fall off. Yes, 1-2-3, grabbing a kill in the front lines. Teskey will allow them to move this payload forward, and now, yes, 1-2-3, dashing in, will eliminate Elucidator in the sidelines. That will be Bullet holding the front line as best he can on this Barrack class, and Firmino Turtle, of course, with the heals to keep the team alive. But you do have to wonder, the second there's a team wipe, of course this pushes over, how long can they keep it up for?
Well, we'll see. It looks like yes, 123 trying to go for a flank here on the upper part. He's got to watch out for Elucid Air behind him, though. He's going to be able to get some free damage. But yes, 123 is going to be able to turn around on him. The team fight below going just evenly. Rasputin getting focused down. Has to back up to his team. Yes, 123 behind the team, but Elucid Air is going to be able to take him down before he does any good. And now it's a 4v5 situation in favor of proper etiquette on the defense.
Will be Arachnemoose able to grab the opposing tank. But there is still the damage. There is a great use of the Maldumba ultimate. Fear flying out in all directions. There's a follow-up Hexafire. Rasputin cleaning up the kills like a laundromat. That will be kill after kill going his way. And the tied 1-1 scoreline. Having said that, considering how little progress they made in the opening seconds of that round, it was impressive how far they did get.
Yeah, they really were stuck in that first choke point. I think that's really what killed them. Maybe if they had pushed it past that a little earlier, they probably would have had a better chance. They did push it quite a ways while they were in overtime, but really it was all ended by that last ult combo with the Maldumba Fear and the Ruckus ultimate, bringing out the big guns. And it was shut down pretty quick after that, but I really feel like they could have that push next time if they coordinate just a little more in that first choke point.
We will see, of course, on the scoreboard, an interesting amount of Haven being picked up over on both sides. You really don't see a counter to Arachnemoose, which is a little bit interesting, and I don't know if I agree with it, as he's definitely had a fun time so far. Elucidator, of course, he's been the star player over on proper etiquette. He's definitely showed up a few times, grabbing the proper kills. Teskey will grab Bullet to open this up, and there's the ultimate out of Elucidator, meaning that they have full vision. They know exactly where everyone is. You're not sneaking around today. Yes, 123, and he's going to be chased out by several players. There's the point capture in favour of proper etiquette by 40-50% now. And Elucidator is single-handedly holding off 3 players, but Bubbly pushing through. That might be the beginning of the end for this hold.
The Elucidator does manage to separate the entire team here with the help of Teskey. So now it's going to be Bubbly popping the Ancient Rage on point, but Immortal from Fernando. And the Grok ultimate Tempest coming out to heal his teammates to that. Makoa ultimate is going to do nothing. Bubbly coming in with an ult of his own. Yes, 123 taking down Elegy, and it looks like Australian Mafia is actually starting to retake the point now.
Yeah, yes, 123, of course, absolutely a key part of that. And we saw King Bomb flying in to get a little bit of the first damage, and then the damage coming out just from the raw auto attacks of Yes 123 was more than enough to clean it all up. 80%, 90% now in favour. There's the tag on the point by the opposing Fernando. He's there, and he's taking a little bit of point capture away from them. That will be Yes 123 struggling to deal with Maldumba, but Elegies will fall. And now here's the opposing Fernando right in front of him. Dead to right if he can get the damage. And Arachnemoose has so many targets in close range. The AoE damage should surely be in his favour. The reversal meanwhile for Yes 123 onto Elucidator. He needs to grab this kill onto the opposing DPS, but he can't quite make it work. They're at 99% and they cannot get that final percent. And Yes 123 he's about to fall, though nobody's standing on the point, and that will be the objective capture going in favour now of Australian Mafia 2-1.
Teskey stepped off that point just a second too early, ended up costing him that one, but that's okay. They also didn't deal with Elucidator in the back line. I feel like that's going to be a problem in the future. Right now, we're seeing Australian Mafia push extremely hard. They have Inferno Turtle in the back for healing, but they also have Elucidator yet again still in their back lines. They have not killed him yet. It looks like Yes is going in to try and deal with this, but he rolls out of the way. It's Maldumba ultimate trying to fear a few. Teskey is able to take down Arachnemoose while he's feared, and Elucidator taking down the Inferno Turtle to open things up for proper etiquette.
Yes, 123 still in the front lines. His ultimate's up, but his life is not, and he will fall. And yet again, this is the choke point they got stuck at last time. They have almost a minute 30 to do this, and all their players are now up. They're choosing to go in together. Arachnemoose will be the tip of the spear, and he's got so many opponents playing very aggressively in order to hold.
Teskey was pushed up a little bit too far, got some information for his team. Now Teskey and Backman are going to be retreating back to the team. It's going to be a 5-man defense here. Elucidator in the back. They need to get back to the DPS. That's going to be Makoa and Barrack Shield down to help protect their team. And it looks like Yes 123 going with the Curse Storm, tried to get Elucidator, but wasn't able to pick him up. And that's crucial as Yes is now down to 1 shot. And here comes the big guns from Rasputin getting Arachnemoose. And the team fight again going in favor of proper etiquette on the defense.
Bubbly looking for a chance to peek around and grab maybe a few kills with the hook. If he can isolate one of the lower HP players on the other side, it could be huge. And there are his opponents right in front, but instead he'll opt for the dome shield, buying a little bit of time and space for his teammates. There's the hook onto the opposing healer, but the Ghost Walk will allow that backbone Grok to survive. Now Tezki playing very aggressively with the shield to just try and get that Grok all the way out of the action. Rasputin will be raining in the damage, so nobody's quite comfortable peeking around that corner of the barrier. Will do so and force Rasputin back. There's the Grumpy Bomb to make doubly sure of that. And now, past the first choke point are Australian Mafia.
So it looks like they're going extremely hard on Elucidator here. He should fall the yes 1 2 3, and that's going to be the opening pick that Australian Mafia needs, but they only have 16 seconds. Same position they were stuck in last time. That's going to be Bomb King with a great King Bomb to stun Backbone and Rasputin in the backline, but no kills were capitalized on, but that does manage to push proper Etiquette back. But I think that Australian Mafia they're still stuck in the same position, but they have a better chance of pushing this one in than they did last time.
Yeah, this is about where they fell last time. Here's the push from Yes 1 2 3 to grab the healer in the back line, but the reversal needs to come out, and there's the damage. He might lose this fight, but no. The snapshot comes through. Tezki will be playing kind of passively to leap on out and use this flamethrower at close range against his opponents. Rasputin and the Grok holding the frontline backbone, of course, on that Grok. There's the damage going out, the shield now up, and it will be Tezki soaking up a lot of damage and potentially buying time for his teammates, but he needs to fall back and play with his team because it's not really worth it. Overtime's in effect. He's not buying time. He's just burning his teammates' life. There's the Immortal wasted, potentially. Backbone, though, using it, and it's a great setup for the Tempest. The damage will rain out, and Elucidator grabs Yes 1 2 3. The counter with the Dome Shield, but the Hexafire on the point. That's huge. Bubbly somehow managing to stay alive through it all, and Bullet will grab Rasputin. And now, here's the push forward by Australian Mafia. So many opponents in front of them, and equally many behind, but they do have a great opportunity. There's the Maldumba ultimate right into the opposing side. And we did appear to have some lag there, but we will have the push nonetheless. Bubbly in the front lines, Rasputin definitely a target, and there's Maldumba equally low. The Dome Shield will come out to save Bullet, and I love that. Arachnomoose now taking advantage of this Dome Shield to focus down Rasputin. There's the kill going through. Backbone is the main target. He has to be, and look at him just melting. Yes 1 2 3 did grab Elucidator. There's the tank elegies instantly gone because the healer is out, and that will be the payload all the way through in overtime for Australian Mafia. 3-1.
That was absolutely beautifully done by all of Australian Mafia. And I just got to point out, Arachnomoose with the Grumpy Bombs, completely zoning out and stunning anyone who tried to come near the payload toward the end there. Did a great job. Picked off Ruckus pretty early in that last bit of the push, defense, whatever you want to call it, and just did amazing work for his team. And I told you they were going to get through it. All they had to do was focus a little more, and they did it. And you saw the defense just crumble and become spawn staggered directly at the end.
5, 4.
Now there's the KD score lines for you, and Yes 1 2 3. In fairness to him, we apparently were watching his bad moments, because I was going with the impression that he'd kind of been messing it up a fair bit. But he does have a 12 and 6 KD, so he's doing something right. Bullet on the point, of course, definitely a key element of their success, throwing out the turrets, throwing out the damage on the point to just keep the team alive and keep the team relevant. There's Rasputin on the Rockets, he's been a key opposition, and there's the damage flying out from Australian Mafia, targeting him. Yes 1 2 3 does grab Backbone, the healer, but Tezki grabs the opposing healer in Inferno Turtle, and there's still one available over on proper Etiquette in the form of the brand new champion. Maldumba Bubbly will be running on forward with a double kill to his name with the ancient rage. There's the hook in on Rasputin, and there's nothing he can do as the hook just slams away at him, the anchor beating him savagely to death, and Arachnomoose will grab Elucidator. 3-1 is the scoreline, but 68-70% on the capture. This is looking over.
So Tezki and his 2 healers need to get on the point right now if they want to take it. It's at 99, but no, they couldn't get there in time, just a couple of footsteps away from the point. And Australian Mafia going to drive the game and the series home with a big win, even without what we thought was one of their key carries on the team.
I would like to formally apologize. Same scoreline. With or without Mr. Shy. I doubted them. I made fun of them for being, Mr. Shy with the hard carry. Bubbly shows up, says, hey, I'm playing a tank, I'm not playing the flashiest character, but I'll sub in for the carry, and you can see other players stepped up. Bullet, Yes 1 2 3, Arachnomoose. None of them had spectacular individual scores like we're used to seeing from Mr. Shy, but they all have decent scores. They're all chipping in, and with their powers combined, they combine to form a super transformer. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they did, and I gotta give it to the tanks. Over 100k healing each, and Inferno Turtle also great support play, 130k healing. Beautifully done by all of Australian Mafia to pick it up in the middle of a series, nonetheless, with a sub. Incredible job by them. An incredible job as well to the opposing team, but I don't think they could keep up with Australian Mafia.
Yeah, great play by Proper Etiquette, and once again, as we throw back over here, you can see all the maps, and we'll go back over to our beautiful faces. Once again, you can see just they stepped up. They really impressed me there, because Proper Etiquette in the preseason, they were there. They were one of the top 3 teams in the OCE League, and now they've just been shredded by a team that's literally been around for 2 weeks. This team, they were just founded like 2 days before the competition, maybe, and they said, hey, let's go, let's try it, and it's absolutely working out for them, and I cannot wait to see more from Australian Mafia.
I honestly can't either. I'm telling you that in a couple of weeks, I feel like these guys are going to be the ones to take down Aftermind once and for all. They're improving at such a rapid rate, and they're just doing amazing.
It's Harry Potter. You have the baby, and he grows up to be a hero and take down Voldemort. Is that what we're going here? The ultimate. The only problem.
I think we're going for that.
Who is Australian Mafia's father, who got murdered by Aftermind? It's not fitting. We don't have a motive for the revenge story. I'm sorry.
About that.
While you work on that, while you go ahead and write this best-selling novel, we are going to be right back in a few moments with the last game of the night, Avant-Garde versus Corvidae, in just a few moments. It should be a blockbuster. Don't go anywhere.